Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on the Corvette. We got another mod coming. Today we're going to be replacing the shifter assembly with a MGW short shifter and billet shifter assembly. You'll see that this shifter arm is all CNC machine billet aluminum, and the base, the lower part's even been replaced, and this will all go in place where the stock shifter arm is. Now MGW offers you two kits. One uses the stock shift knob, another one uses a like Hearst style shift knob, a round shift knob. And honestly guys, with my Corvette, I didn't really like the round ball. I thought about it, I was like, eh. Plus it was like another $50. Yeah, it was like almost $40 or $50 more than this kit was. So I decided to stay with the traditional stock shift knob, just because I think our interiors are too new to have a Hearst shift ball in it. Maybe not a Hearst, but you know what I'm talking about, like a round style shift ball. And plus, if they're aluminum, they're gonna get hot as hell during the summer. They'll burn your hands. So using the stock shift knob being leather and that little bit of piece of aluminum on top of it, we're gonna go with that setup. This shifter replaces everything. The only thing you're gonna use in the entire stock shifter assembly is going to be the rod that goes in here that connects to the transmission shifter linkage in the back. This will split apart. I'll take the rod out of the stock assembly and put it in here. So that stock shift rod is the only thing we're going to be using from the stock parts. And I guess I'm just going to sell the Z06 box, what's left of it, up on eBay or wherever I put it. So let's go ahead and get started on the install. Alright guys, you're going to take the stock shifter boot assembly out, take off the lid, take off the 10mm bolts holding that in. Then you use a T40 to take the bolts out holding the shifter box to the torque tube. So there's 3 bolts. There's 1, 2 up front, and 3. The third is the shifter linkage down here. And make sure the car's in neutral, that way you can reach the shifter linkage. Now that we got the bolts out, we can push the shifter into a higher gear, and that will allow us to slide the shift knob off. So there you go. The shift box is out of the car. That doesn't take very long. And now we're going to take this apart and get that stock shift rod out of the back of it, like I said earlier. So take these 4 bolts off the top of the shifter assembly, and we'll be able to get the stock box broken apart. Alright, so that allows you to get it torn apart. Alright, now that the 4 bolts are out, you can take the stock shifter arm out. We're not going to be using this. What we're going to be using is this stock rod, like I said. You gotta take off these 2 Phillips head screws off the front, take the rod out, and that's all we're going to need from the stock parts. Alright guys, so here's the MGW box. I kind of tore it back apart because I had pre-assembled some of it, but I didn't realize I need that stock shifter rod. So if you're sitting in the driver's side seat, the shifter assembly is going to go in like this. It's going to bolt to the torque tube. Here's your front bolt, back bolt, and the shifter rod will need to come out the back. So here's the stock shifter rod. You're going to need the end with the hole in it, because that's where the stock pin goes. You're going to want that to go forward. Then you're going to want to slip this back bushing in. Alright, there you go. Now that we have the shifter rod and the bushings in, we can put the bottom plate on. Goes like that. And we're going to have 4 bolts go in. These have thread locker on them already, so we should be good. So now that we have the MGW box with the shift rod in it, we can get these tightened down and then start the actual shifter install. Alright guys, as you can see, I got the Dynamat and the heat shield products installed. Just follow the instructions from MGW. They're pretty simple. My only word of advice would be to clean it up a little bit before you start the install, just with a damp rag with some detail spray, and you'll be able to get everything stuck on there just fine. And we should have a little less noise in the cabin, and maybe even a little less heat with the extra heat shield products down there. So now we have the lower assembly of the box. I did film this earlier, but I had these bolts messed up. These need to be the stainless bolts in the lower and the black ones in the upper. I screwed that up, so that's one fix, and now we're ready to bolt this in. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is put the neutral position plate in and then tighten down all the bolts. Make sure to put blue Loctite on these 3 bolts. You're going to do the bolt for the shifter rod, the torque tube back bolt, and the torque tube front bolt. Tighten those down, and then you can take the neutral position plate back out. Basically what this does is just an alignment tool that allows you to put the shifter base in the lower part of the shift box and the shift cable. That way it verifies that everything is going to be in neutral when you finally put the shifter assembly into the lower box. Alright guys, I took the neutral alignment tool back out. I'm going to put the shifter assembly back in, and this will just slide in place. And then we will put the black bolts that we had mistakenly put on the bottom here, and we will tighten these down. And then there's set screws on the front and the back. We'll do those next. Alright guys, we've pretty much finished the shifter install. I tightened those set screws, tightened all the bolts for the shifter linkage and the torque tube bolts, and I just tightened down the top shaft for the shift knob, and I just threw the C6 shift knob on here for now, just kind of give you a demonstration of going through the gears. So here's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. I have to turn the car on to go in reverse, but also wanted to show you, like, if I'm in gear, so we're in third now, I wanted to show you the play. There's a little bit of play, but the thing you have to remember is I still haven't tightened down the shifter, so that might have a little bit of looseness in itself. But man, it's like maybe a 1/4 inch in each direction when the stock shifter was like. So I'm in third gear right now, and you see that it wiggles to the left and right probably a good 1/2 inch. So with the tighter shift box, this new aftermarket shifter from MGW, the rear diff, the Z06 trans, all the braces, the mounts and all that, this should like wrap up like the ultimate like shifting. This should help us get through the 1/4 mile a lot quicker. So this is gonna be it for like shifter and transmission projects for the car. I mean, short of going to an automatic, there's really not much else you can do to a C6 Corvette, and this should be a lot nicer than stock. So I'm gonna finish up this install. There's 2 more things to do. One is the boot that goes over this assembly. You need to trim it so that the stock boot fits over this sealed boot, and then you've got the rubber piece that goes over the plastic piece. So you got the plastic piece, then a rubber piece. You need to trim both of those, then you'll be finished with the install. So not much else to do, just got to trim those 2 items, put it back in, put the interior back together, and finish up the wiring, and then we'll be able to send it, man. This car is almost done, so we'll get there. Like I said in previous videos, we'll do a good overview video of all the systems when we're finally done, cars running, and no issues with wiring or transmissions or anything like that. So when we get there, we'll do a great like full review video of all the stuff that we've done. So also, don't forget guys, I have apparel for sale. It's in the links below. First link is to Teespring, so we pick up the hoodies and t-shirts. The second link will be my eBay site. You can pick up stickers, you can pick up keychains and all that good stuff. So if you want to help support the channel, that'd be a great way to do it. So we'll wrap this up here. If you guys like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Thanks and have a great day.